So firstly, what's your name? Where do you come from?
So my name is Lachlan, and I live in Australia.
Whereabouts in Australia are you, Lachlan?
Melbourne.
Melbourne. Very nice. I used to live in Sydney, bro. I don't know if you knew that.
Really?
So
Nah, I didn't know that.
yeah, yeah. I used to box in Sydney. I
Yeah,
boxed against the New South Wales champion. Yeah,
yeah.
beat him. Just saying.
Yeah.
Um, it's a long time ago now. I probably couldn't box eggs at the minute, but
Yeah,
we move. We move. So
yeah. I
you're in
actually
the
met
real world.
someone.
Go on. Talk.
I am. I actually met someone in the real world who has a boxing gym in like near my area, and his best mate is the current champion, Australian champion. So
Nice, bro. Nice,
they're in the
nice.
real world. We're out here, bro.
You tell him. Big Rory wants to chat.
Yeah. He wants revenge, you know.
Right. So you joined the real world. When did you join the real world, Lachlan?
Indeed. I joined Hustlers University in 2022. So I've been around for quite a while.
Yeah.
I had a car accident, but it took me out for a little bit. But then I went into the real world, and now I've been here, login streak for 560 days, and I'm in the investing campus.
Nice. Is that the crypto campus?
Exactly. Yeah, the crypto investing campus. Yeah.
Yeah. And cool. So who is your professor inside the real world?
Professor Adam.
Cool. And what's your take on Professor Adam? Let's go through that first.
That's interesting. I think Professor Adam, obviously, here. Okay. Just trying to think of how I should exactly word this. I think Professor Adam is really great because he's very direct. He's no bullshit. He'll tell you exactly how it's going to be, and he'll tell
Mhm.
you that if you say, "Oh, I want to make $1 million," he'll say, "Well, how there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, and there's a probabilistic range of outcomes." So he'll never lie to you. He won't tell you that the market's going to go up forever because that's not how it works. He'll tell
Yeah.
you what's going to happen and what might happen.
Yeah. Cool. So you've been in there for 3 years, right?
Yeah, around about yeah.
Cool. So what would you say in terms of value? How would you say the real world is in terms of value for what you pay for?
Oh, it's absolutely incredible. The value that you get from the real world is absolutely phenomenal because it's a match of a gym, a school, a university, a network, a community, all mashed into one, just online platform. It's the only
Mhm.
social media I have on my phone because you get so much value from it, from the people you meet, the professors, the lessons, everything in there is incredible.
So are you in several campuses or are you stuck to one campus? What's your story?
Well, throughout my time, when I first joined the real world, I did not have much savings or money and things like that. So I initially joined the crypto writing. Oh, sorry, I'm copywriting. There we go. I joined the
Yeah.
copywriting campus with Professor Andrew, and he initially taught me how to do some sales, get some money in. Through there, I used Professor Arno's campus, the business campus, to get really my sales and my clients going. And then once I got a bunch of savings, went into the ecom campus, went through a bit of that as well, and then that took me into the investing campus. And now I've been solely in the investing campus. I do not go anywhere else.
Very good. Very good. And what's been your favorite campus so far and why?
Absolutely, the investing campus is my favorite because, as I said earlier, we have a very strict regime where everyone is so brutal, but they're brutal in a way of love. So the investing campus is where I've made absolutely phenomenal amounts of money. I've really multiplied my net worth in the investing campus, and the community there is just exceptional.
Okay. Tell me two core principles of yours that you've learned inside the crypto campus.
Mm, can you elaborate a little bit more? What type of principles? Like,
So, what would be, say, your mission statement? What would you say is very important to do inside that campus in terms of
oh
maybe
yeah,
consistency, in terms of
yeah,
performance? What do
yeah,
you think is important? So, two important things
yeah.
that you've learned to maybe apply inside that campus.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So there's actually a Japanese word called kaizen, and kaizen means continuous improvement. So in English, you could say dedication, where if you show up at the investing campus and you get through the lessons every single day, and then once you finish the lessons, you continue working on your investing systems, you go through the postgraduate levels, and every day you show up and continuously do analysis that is absolutely necessary. So that would be number one. And then second, I would have to say is just a knowledge, generalized, as I said, linked to the first dedication of just continually refreshing what you've learned and applying it. And not only that, but when you learn something new, share it with the community. And then once you've shared it, you can all have an open discussion and break it down. And then you just grow your mind and you learn new things every day.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
So
Also, is there any
dedication and sharing.
So dedication is the first one,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
sharing.
yeah. It'll be the second. Yeah.
Are there any mistakes that you've made inside the campus? Maybe you'd like to share with us to let new students know not to make the same mistakes that you did.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Well, similar to my 2 points that I've just elaborated on, I think huge is even the dedication part where a lot of people in the investing campus will join and they'll initially get stuck at that barrier of entry where you have all these lessons where you have to do quizzes behind. And you sit there and go, oh, there's so much work I need to do. And it's all theory. You have to learn the investing knowledge. But you have to understand that once you get through those lessons, that's when you do the practical. That's when you learn your investing systems and put it all together. And that's when you really apply your knowledge. Because the mistake that you'll make is you'll join and watch the Adam's brilliant signals where he's making phenomenal amounts of money, and you go, oh, okay, well, if Adam's doing it so simply, I can just follow this. But the mistake is that you're following something you don't understand and you don't know. So when you invest into the market, you don't understand why he's doing what he's doing. And when he de-risks and things like that, you get too greedy.
Very interesting, bro. Very interesting. Now, what about on like a social aspect of things? Has the
Yeah,
real world changed your life socially? Have you met people inside the campus that you're now maybe friends with,
absolutely.
or people you give
Yeah.
advice to? What's your take on the social side of things there?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the real world is the number one social platform there currently is. I personally have zero social media apart from Twitter and the real world because all of my positive social interaction I get from the real world. Every morning I hit the group chats and I hit GM because we wake up and we get to work. So every morning we chat about fitness, we talk about off topic, we talk about business, relationships, everything is within the real world. So, like you said, and I mentioned earlier, one of my friends who I met in the real world, we train boxing all the time. And there's numerous people in there that absolutely great connections I made.
Very good, bro. Very good. And also, would you say that the results that you've had would be different if you were to have learnt them, say, via YouTube, as
Mm.
to what you've learned and
Yeah.
earned in maybe the real world?
Absolutely. So the thing about the real world is that you won't find anything like that online because especially on social media, when it comes to investing, everybody's trying to sell you something. So it's all about you buy my trading course and then I get commission on all of your trades and things like that. But the real world is so unique because not only does it have uniquely profitable systems that were invented by Professor Adam himself. So not only are they so unique, but then you have one-on-one guidance of every time you ask a question and you have the person that made that system and people that are profitable using that system answer your question.
Interesting. And what package did you buy when you first joined the real world? Did you join on a monthly subscription? Did you join the Heroes Year? Did you join
Yeah.
the Luke's Championship package? Which package did you
Yeah.
buy?
So when I initially joined in the Hustlers University, there was only ever the monthly subscription. So I've actually been paying that for around 2 to 3 years. But it wasn't until last week where obviously cryptocurrency has been exploding. So with all of my profit, I obviously decided that I need to give back to the hand that fed me. So I bought a championship membership around a week ago.
Oh wow, wow! And that
Yeah.
that actually gives you more access to Luke as well, isn't that correct?
Indeed, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, man. That's cool. Do you know what? What would you say to anyone who would maybe say to you that the real world is a scam?
I think that is an absolutely absurd comment because if I'm being scammed, what am I being scammed for? Because a scam is when you're trading value for something and you're not getting anything in exchange. I trade, say, $50 a month to the real world, but I get so much more value back. Just in Adam's lessons alone or his daily analysis, Adam's signals make tens of thousands of dollars to so many people on the daily, weekly basis. So the amount of value that you get back from the real world, it's impossible to be a scam.
Excellent, bro. I asked that question simply because you get a lot of haters online
Yeah.
who obviously are going to just say whatever they can that's bad anyway. Obviously,
Yeah,
these
yeah.
people
People that
aren't
waste their money on a
necessarily,
uni degree.
yeah, and not only that, these people aren't necessarily important, but it's
Mm,
important to just extinguish their
yeah,
claims. But, so it's great to speak to people like yourself who have
of
results.
course. Yeah.
So and how much money have you actually made from the real world, if I can ask?
Uh, I would say, okay. Hmm. I don't really want to talk numbers just because obviously there's a security aspect, especially with cryptocurrency. But I would say I have multiplied my net worth significantly numerous times.
Nice. So basically, you're a billionaire. You're hiding your money. You don't want the Australian government to hear what you've
Yeah,
earned.
the ATO is coming up to me,
You're
you know?
going to keep going the question away. Nice, nice. I like it. I like it, bro. And what's next for you in terms of the campuses? Like, what? How do you plan to grow?
Yep. So within the investing campus specifically, we have a, let's say, structure of where you get through the lessons, and then there's your postgraduate systems where you make your investing systems on a medium and long term basis, and you also have strategies to implement. So currently, I'm level 4 in the postgraduate system. So my goal in the real world to be reach investing master, and then from there, once I become a lot more significantly wealthy, I'd like to join the war room and explore
Mhm.
my options.
Very good. The war room's a completely different kettle of fish, bro. And
Yeah.
in terms
Hard
of
to
in terms of the real world being, structured as a game, how would you describe the structure of the real world yourself to maybe people join in
Yeah.
and and
Okay.
how would you what campus would you recommend to someone who just joined the real world?
Yeah. So it's kind of difficult to answer because exactly what I would say to someone that's new to the real world, especially, is that we have campus quizzes once you join because everyone's in their own unique position, and the real world realizes that. So it understands that maybe someone like myself in Australia, where we have an extremely blessed situation, where compared to someone in maybe India who might be less financially fortunate, then we understand that there's different ways of making money, and everyone is either like cash poor or time poor and things like that. So
Hmm.
I would personally take the real world quiz that you are access to when you first join the campus or
Hmm.
the platform, and then just go from there and go, okay, well, if I have a lot of money but I don't have a lot of time, then maybe the investing campus is right for you. However, if you have less money but a lot of time, then potentially business mastery or the copywriting campus could be uh, more suited. In regards to the structure of the real world, I think it's structured extremely well because the professors and the members behind the real world have made it so smart that they have everything lined out. Where similar to how I said with the quiz, everything's there for you, and it's all set up so you can just easily walk in and they have the lessons and they have actually tutorials teaching you how to use the platform. So everything's just laid out for you really easily to view.
What's the two best things that you've learned inside the real world to apply to your everyday life?
To apply to my everyday life,
Mm.
I think I wouldn't. It's hard to even say necessarily the real world because I think even just a Tate principle in general is just discipline and hard work. Similar to what I said earlier with dedication of just every day constantly trying your hardest and making sure your intention, your niyyah, is the most important thing. Secondly, from the real world, what have I learned? Obviously I'm biased for being an investing campus student, but I'd say inflation is super important. So I constantly always just think about money and how business and things like that work. So another old Tate principle he said in one of his really old videos was that every time he walks into a cafe store, he'll analyze the store and go, how can I improve this cafe? How can I potentially make them more money? Should they be selling cakes? Is the furniture too hard? And just constantly identify how you can make more money, whether it's through investing, whether you want to invest in a stock or things like that, or how you can improve the copywriting of the business or how they can get more sales, more customer interaction.
Nice. And are you a captain inside your campus yet?
No, unfortunately not.
No.
I'm not an investing master. I'm only a level 4 postgraduate, so I'm not a captain, no.
Do you plan to level up to become a captain?
I would absolutely love to, but I believe at the moment the requirement is to be an investing master. So
Very interesting, bro. I think
indeed,
you've got I think you've got the power to do it. I think you've got the power
I would
to
hope
get
so.
there. I really do. Um, what is in terms of people inside the campuses?
Yeah.
What would you say is the best way to say if someone was to join the investment campus like yourself,
Mhm.
how much would you say someone needs to invest?
I would say that it's once again it's a little bit of a difficult question to answer, but when you join the investing campus, it's about how much money matters to you. So if, as I said, if you live in potentially India or Bangladesh and you have $5,000 USD, that's a quite significant amount of money. And if you were to multiply that 2 or 3 times, that could potentially change your life. However, if you're living in England or Australia and you have £20,000 or 10,000 AUD, and you were to multiply that 1 to 2 times, it would be significant, but it might not change your life, not buy you a car or a house and things like that. So it's about how much money it matters to you.
Are you assuming that Indians and Bangladeshis are poor people?
No, I'm saying that their wealth to GDP ratio is a lot lower.
What if they're rich?
Well, if they're rich, then they can invest a lot more significant amount of money, which would
Fantastic.
positively affect their life.
I really like your cup, bro. I really like your cup.
Thank you. I'm actually just ran out of water, so.
Nice. And are you in the fitness campus?
If I have to be brutally honest, I am
Listen, I'm
not.
here to get honest answers, bro. Yeah.
Okay, if I have to be brutally honest, I am not in the fitness campus, even though I do heavily enjoy fitness. Just because sometimes there's a lot of like shirtless photos of dudes, and it's a bit gay, and everyone's like talking about gay shit. However,
look,
if Professor Luke Barnett was to join and do a Muay Thai MMA professor, I'd absolutely love to join.
Cool. What advice would you give to someone that say if a young man from Australia signs up today, he pays his $50. What would be the first steps you tell him to take in order to grow inside the real world?
Exactly. Okay, yeah. So similar to what I said earlier, if someone, potentially in my similar situation was to join the real world, initially I would guide them on the straight path and go, okay, well, here's the guideline that we have for you. We have the quiz that will find out exactly what interests you, your risk tolerance and things like that, how much savings you have, how much time you have, and to see what works for them. Because what works for me might not work for you. However,
Absolutely.
there's so many options in the real world that it works for everybody.
Absolutely.
So I just see what works for them.
Cool. And who's your least favorite professor?
My least favorite professor.
I'm playing, bro. You don't need to answer.
My least favorite professor is Professor Arno because he joins our campus randomly. Randomly, he just joins and starts talking crap. He's like, I should buy XRP. And we're like, no, stop encouraging our students to do degenerate actions.
So Arno's come in, he just storms in and he's unhinged. Excellent.
Yeah. I've heard he's a bit tall, but I reckon, what is he, like 90 kilo?
I can take it. I've never met Arno. Yeah. So I don't know. Do you know what? I haven't actually met many of the professors. I know a few, of course. I know a few, but I haven't met any of them on a social thing. But yeah, I mean, I'm more interested in interviewing guys like yourself to see, how you've progressed and what made you join what actually made you join the real world.
Well, obviously, Andrew Tate blew up on TikTok, and it's that whole concept of going, this man, even though he might be brash and harsh in some ways, but he has that level of evidence and that success, and go, look, he came from where I came from. My parents could not pay the rent. We couldn't pay for groceries some nights. So if I have this man who grew up in a council home and who really, had no electricity at some moments and really grew up from the bottom, and he climbed his way to the top, and he became what I wanted to do. He was a kickboxing world champion, and he really got all of the attributes that I wanted, and go, oh, you know what? Even though I might not agree with some of his comments potentially sometimes, but he has the evidence that I want. And it's just made it perfectly clear that if he could do it, I could do it too.
You know what? That's a very honest answer. It's a good answer as well. So yeah. No, it's lovely speaking to you, bro. So what's your plans now for the rest of the day? I think it's late.
It's actually 6:30 at night, so I'm about to have dinner. Just waiting.
It's 6:30.
Yeah. Have dinner, train, the real world, sleep.
For some reason, I always assume that you're 12 hours ahead, but that's because I'm in Dubai, so I'm actually 3 hours ahead, or 9 or 10 hours ahead. Sorry. Yeah, I'm ahead of English time. My head's a bit.
Yeah, you're ahead of English time, but today is the 21st of May here, so you're 6 hours behind us, I believe.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm ahead of you. Boom. Competitive advantage.
No, well, not really, because I've got more time to catch up. But yeah, lovely speaking to you, bro. Honestly, hopefully I meet you one day. Hopefully you get into the war room. I see you at one of the events.
Yeah,
we can have a coffee. We'll go from there, G. But honestly, keep up your hard work, your success. It's lovely to see people doing well like yourself, following the core principles and the discipline that Andrew likes to instill inside people. And yeah, it's lovely to see that he's had a positive influence on your life and probably your family's life too.
Indeed, yes.
All right, bro. Well, listen, it was lovely catching up. See you soon. Keep working hard.
All right. Hopefully, I can fight you one day in the fight.
Don't ask to fight me, bro. I bite. See you soon.
All right, bye. Thank you very much.
Well, see you later, bro.